We all inhabit two worlds at any one time: the physical built environment and an internal emotive landscape which often determines how we deal with the world and all those around us. Finding a balance between these two is never easy. But identifying danger in the built environment is a far easier prospect than dealing with problems in the world of human relations. We teach our children about the physical dangers of the world around us, about road safety, about keeping safe near water. But it's far harder to equip them with the personal safety skills needed to deal with the sad realities of bullying and abuse. The Stay Safe programme is a personal safety programme for primary schools. Its overall objective is to prevent child abuse and other forms of child victimisation. Stay Safe gives children the skills they need to help protect themselves in a range of situations which they might find upsetting or frightening, such as being lost, dealing with strangers, or being bullied. It develops children's ability to recognise situations where they may be at risk of abuse and gives them the language to tell. The programme was developed in the late 1980s by health professionals who were working with children who had suffered various forms of abuse. Aware of the huge increase in the number of reported cases of child abuse, they set out to design a programme which would firstly help prevent abuse and secondly assist children who had been abused to disclose and get help. The Stay Safe programme was the subject of a 2-year evaluation study before it was introduced into primary schools in the 1990s. Personal safety education is now part of the social, personal and health education curriculum in primary schools. Stay Safe takes a positive approach to prevention, which preserves children's sense of the world around them as a basically safe and secure place. It aims to develop children's self-confidence and to help them learn the language necessary to deal with problems such as bullying and abuse. Regardless of whether children ever need to use the Stay Safe strategies, they will all benefit from having the opportunity to become more confident and more fluent at expressing themselves. The more confident a child is, the more likely they are to tell an adult if they have a problem. Also, the more confident a child is, the less likely they are to find themselves in a situation where they become victims of bullying or abuse. One of the ways in which Stay Safe develops children's self-confidence and assertiveness is through the use of role plays. Role plays involve getting the children to practice what they would do in any particular situation. For example, in the section on bullying, children practice saying stop to a bully in a loud, confident voice, with one child acting the part of the bully and the other the child who is being picked on. Like so many other aspects of social, personal and health education, parental involvement in the programme is extremely important. As parents or guardians, you are the most important people in your child's life, and they will most likely turn to you when they are worried or upset.
Not too much detail, because the poster has too much detail.
It has been shown that programmes like Stay Safe are most effective when both the school and parents and guardians work together to help children understand and learn personal safety skills. Children are taught the Stay Safe lessons in their classroom by their teacher, and following this, their parents discuss the lessons with their child and can respond to any individual issues that arise. So what can you do to help make the Stay Safe programme a success for your child? Well, watching this DVD and attending the school meeting is a positive step. Taking the time to read the Stay Safe Parents Guide is another. But the most important thing you can do is talk to your child about the Stay Safe worksheets that will be brought home as part of their homework throughout their time in primary school. Now, before we look at what is covered in the Stay Safe programme, let's take a step back and consider why we need Stay Safe. It may be hard for us to understand why anyone would want to hurt or abuse a child. Most children will never experience child abuse, but we know it is a reality for some children. Child abuse is a criminal offence. It's always wrong and is never the child's fault. There are various forms of abuse: physical abuse, emotional abuse, sexual abuse, and neglect. Physical abuse is any form of deliberate injury to a child. It can also happen when adults fail to protect children from physical harm. Emotional abuse occurs when a child's need for affection, approval, love and security are not met, or if a child is living in a situation where they experience constant criticism and sarcasm. Living in a situation where there is domestic violence is also emotionally damaging to a child. Sexual abuse is when a child is used for the sexual gratification of another. It doesn't always involve physical contact. For instance, allowing children to have access to inappropriate sexual material is also abusive. Neglect occurs when a child suffers significant harm because their basic needs are not being met, like food, clothing, or shelter. It can also occur when children are deprived of proper supervision, education, and medical care. And frequently, children are victims of more than one type of abuse. Child abuse can happen to any child, boy or girl, and most abusers are well known to the child. Abusers may be male or female, of any age or any social background. Children with special educational needs or disabilities may be more vulnerable to abuse for a number of reasons. They may have poor communication skills or a limited sense of danger. They may have a need for intimate care or have a limited understanding of sexuality and be easily exploited. Very often, children don't tell about abuse. They may be worried or frightened at what might happen. They may be confused because they don't fully understand what is happening. They may be threatened or coerced into not telling. The central message of the Stay Safe program is to tell and keep telling. Stay Safe teaches children to seek help from a trusted adult and gives them the language to do so. It is important that parents and carers listen to children and talk to them about their feelings, their worries and upsets. It is always important to investigate unexplained changes in your child's behaviour. These may be signs that something is wrong. Remember, if a child tells you about abuse, or if you have other good reason to suspect that a child is being abused, you should act quickly and get in touch with a social worker or other health professional in your local health centre. In an emergency, you could also contact the Garda Síochána.
All schools are required to operate within the Department of Education and Skills Child Protection Guidelines and Procedures. Under those guidelines, schools must appoint a senior member of staff, usually the principal, as a designated liaison person, or DLP for short, with specific responsibility for child protection issues. School staff are required to report child protection concerns to the DLP. The DLP is required to retain records of these concerns and to liaise with, and where appropriate to refer on, concerns to the relevant authorities, that is the HSC or the Gardaí. The DLP should inform parents when making a referral, unless doing so would endanger the child.
The Stay Safe Pack consists of a number of different resources. There are 4 sets of lessons in the Stay Safe programme. Lessons for junior and senior infants, 1st and 2nd classes, 3rd and 4th classes, and 5th and 6th classes. These lessons have also been adapted for children with special educational needs. Each set of lessons has a number of worksheets attached to it that can be used as homework. You will see that there is a space for a parent's signature on each worksheet. When your child brings home one of these worksheets, it's an opportunity for you to discuss what they have learned that day and to personalise the material for your child in a way that is not possible in the classroom. In addition, there is a DVD which is suitable for children in 1st to 4th classes. This video tells the story of a day out at the zoo, where children encounter a number of situations such as bullying and getting lost. They must work out the best way to deal with these situations. The topics discussed in the Stay Safe lessons are as follows: feelings, feeling safe, feeling unsafe, friendship and bullying, touches, secrets and telling, strangers. Each topic is dealt with in a way that emphasises positive experiences while acknowledging that there are times when children may feel unsafe, threatened or frightened. Through classroom discussion, role play and repetition, children learn simple safety strategies for dealing with difficult situations. Children learn that they should always tell an adult who can help, and that they should keep on telling. In the second part of this DVD, we will look at the content of the Stay Safe lessons in more detail.